After returning to the rear courtyard, the two teams split up and each went back to their rooms to rest. Kwang Hong Nia sat by the table with a scowl, saying nothing. Hua Tuc's expression had also changed. His demeanor on the way back was completely different, as if he were another person. "Are you two worried about something?" Jung Tu asked. Kwang Hong Nia nodded, his tone tinged with suspicion. "Brother So, you're new so you don't know. Normally, even if this mission doesn't cause death, some strange things would occur. It would never go this smoothly, not to mention that there's also..." Kwang Hong Nia glanced toward to Din Din but said no more. Jung Tu could more or less guess what Kwang Hong Nia meant. Although to Din Din and Ti Quan Min seemed fine, by the outcome to Din Din had actually completed the task first among their group, and Ti Quan Min hadn't caused trouble either. Everyone was on high alert tonight. "I also feel this is off. That Su Dai Luke isn't simple. Why, for some reason, was he the last to come out?" Hua Tuc hesitated a moment, not wanting to say too much and break the team's unity. After all, they needed to preserve harmony. When they left, someone brought a box of food. Simple dishes and wine, but everything was cold, clearly prepared earlier. "Don't think too much. Eat first." The meal was heavy and no one spoke. To Din Din had no appetite. She ate only a few bites, then returned to her bed to rest. The night outside was as quiet as if dead. The whole Fong Manor seemed to hold only them, and the oppressive atmosphere made everyone uneasy. Suddenly, in the silence came a few strange noises. A rustling, as if someone were approaching quickly. By then it was completely dark outside. Who would come at this hour? The disorderly footsteps gave everyone a feeling of familiarity. Kwang Hong Nia and Hua Tuc reacted quickly. One went to the back door and extinguished the candle on the stand, while Hua Tuc put out the candle on the table and the one behind the window. In an instant the room went pitch dark. They moved in unison to the back window and held their breath, standing where they had the night before. Through the window gap, Jung Tu saw several figures moving quickly along the lakeside. The one in front carried a lantern. "It's Steward Lu and his people." Hua Tuc lowered his voice. His face showed recognition. Those behind him were carrying or had slung on their backs several paper effigies. But the effigies' eyes were covered with cloth, like hostages in old bandit movies. Exactly the paper effigies they had drawn eyes on not long ago. The number matched 7 in total. Steward Lu and his group went straight to the lake, set the effigies down, and, as the night before, arranged them in a line with each placed on the shoulders of the one in front, facing the water. Then they tossed a handful of jas money and used the lantern to set the last effigy on fire. To Din Din was stunned. "Aren't those paper effigies our stand-ins?" Jung Tu lightly tapped her head, signaling her to calm down. "These effigies weren't given eyes. Burning them won't harm us. On the contrary, it will make the ghosts mistake us for the dead tonight." Hearing that, to Din Din relaxed a little and swallowed with difficulty. "So, that's it." After burning the effigies, Steward Lu and his party bolted away, much faster than when they arrived, like a gust of wind. Only the crackling of burning effigies remained, the sound caused by bamboo supports inside them. Just as they began to ease, a blood-curdling wail tore through the rear courtyard, not far from them. Jung Tu and the others turned toward another chamber. The wail mixed with the sound of struggling. Then a figure burst through the main door and darted out. Hua Tuc's pupils shrank back. "It's Ka Long!" Ka Long looked as if he'd gone mad, his whole body trembling, staggering toward the lake. His terrible screams echoed through the empty courtyard, ear-piercing as if to rupture the eardrums. To Din Din reeled. She couldn't clearly see his wounds but could see Ka Long's fierce, agonized face. He was clearly enduring great torment. Kwang Hong Nia pointed to the lake. Only one effigy remained there, engulfed in flames. But this one was different from the others. Though it had burned for a while, it did not fall and did not turn to ash like the other effigies. Ka Long rushed to the lake, grabbed the burning effigy as if to throw himself into the water with it, but it was too late. He staggered a few steps, fell, convulsed a few times, and became still. To Din Din's lips went pale. Trembling, she whispered, "He's dead. Why did he die? Did he make a mistake during the task?" To Din Din regained her composure and urgently wanted to know why it was Ka Long. She hadn't imagined someone so robust would die like that. "It's not about him." Hua Tuc stared at the body shrouded in darkness and sighed. "Someone tampered with his effigy. Su Dai Luke." Kwang Hong Nia did not mince words. He was the last of the three to come out from the other side. Jung Tu naturally wanted to understand what had happened. Earlier, Kwang Hong Nia and Hua Tuc, though they had completed their tasks, had kept watch not far from the door precisely because they feared someone might take the chance to meddle with the effigies, for instance, stealing or burning an eye. Overall, Kalong had been lax from years of playing around and was less vigilant. He even had the leisure to chat with Ti Quan Min outside. Of course, there could be reasons behind this they did not know. Perhaps Su Dai-luk and Kalong knew each other in reality, were friends, or had some arrangement. But whatever the reason, it no longer mattered. The man was dead. Haha. People's hearts are unpredictable. Hua Tuc feigned a sigh, with a trace of regret. Jung Chu inferred the implication. Hua Tuc meant that if Su Dai-luk could turn on Kalong, then Kwang Hong Nia could likewise turn on others. Hua Miss is right. Choose your friends carefully. You may know a face but not the heart. Kwang Hong Nia added pointedly. In another room, seeing Kalong's tragic state, Ti Quan Min trembled uncontrollably and finally slumped onto his bed, terrified. Having murderous intent and truly daring to kill are two different things. The door that Kalong had slammed open slammed shut again. Su Dai-luk moved and flipped up a table. Don't be afraid, he brought this on himself. He wanted to kill you first. Who knows the ways of the world? How can people be so cruel? Ti Quan Min then recovered somewhat, threw himself to his knees before Su Dai-luk and cried out, "Brother Su, I will never forget that you saved my life. From now on I will obey you in everything." "Oh, come on, little T. What are you doing? Get up. Get up. Whether you agree or not, we'll talk things over together next time." Kalong's death cast a shadow over everyone's hearts, as if foretelling that tonight would not be peaceful. Sure enough, before long, while lying on his bed, Duong Chu was abruptly called up. To Din Din, with a worried face, told him that a fog was rolling in outside. This fog came suddenly, and by the time they noticed, the entire backyard was already shrouded. Duong Chu held his breath and hid behind the window, peering through a crack. One of the other rooms had vanished without a trace, as if erased by some invisible force. Gradually sounds rose from the courtyard. Pressing his back against the wooden door, Hua Tuc swallowed nervously. "Is that damned thing coming again?" Kwang Hong Nia frowned, also puzzled. The noises outside were strange. Not the terrifying singing from last night, but a steady series of knocks with a rhythm. If you listened closely, you could hear the clash of gongs and drums mingled with cries. The sounds drew nearer. Torches began to appear through the mist. People were running this way, and the number of them sounded large. Following the chaotic footsteps coming closer, the wooden door was struck loudly. "Gentle guests, it's no good. Our third young master has vanished." They could not open the door right away, so Kwang Hong Nia called back. In matters of ghosts and demons, nothing surprised them anymore. Those outside continued to pound, harder this time. "Just now, the whole household has been mobilized to search for the third young master. You must come out and help." Hua Tuc gave a cold laugh, as if seeing through the other side's scheme. "We'll help, of course, but we won't have Steward Lu come here to command us. We're guests, not servants of this manor." Peering through the gap, the servants outside all wore masks, and the surroundings were saturated with uncanny signs. The ghost boat and the singing woman from the previous night did not appear, which made everyone more wary. A few minutes later, another group arrived, this time led by Steward Lu with a harsh expression. Behind him shuffled the odd-looking papermaker. "Please, our third young master is missing, and the 2 paper stand-ins we had prepared for him are gone as well. We just discovered it," Steward Lu announced. At that moment, Su Dai-luk and Ti Quan Min rushed over from another room. Steward Lu's face hardened. "Why are there only 2 of you? Where's the other man?" Ti Quan Min's face darkened. "He's dead." When the papermaker heard the basic situation, he went pale, counted with his fingers, then sighed. "It's bad. The stand-in was exposed tonight and enraged the murderous thing, which led to the third young master being in danger." Lu's party ran to the lakeside, but when they arrived to Din Din stood dumbfounded. Only ashes of burned effigies remained there, and Kalong's body could not be found. Ti Quan Min panicked. "No, where's the body? Has someone taken it?" At that moment, the manor servants seemed to notice something, crouched down and shone lanterns over the ashes. Everyone could clearly see a line of footprints on the ground. At first, the footprints were chaotic. Somewhere a depression suggested something had fallen. Then the prints suddenly became straight and rigid, and finally they stretched on to vanish in the black water of the lake. Duong Chu's mind jumped to an image. The messy prints were Kalong's when he rushed out from the parlor. The hollow was where his body had fallen. The stiff footprints leading to the lake looked like a corpse that had risen in the mist and walked mechanically, step by step, into the water until it was swallowed. But Steward Lu seemed barely to notice that detail. He cared only for finding the third young master, and his gaze toward them was ice-cold. Guests, although your companion is dead, ultimately this was provoked by you tonight. You must bear responsibility. What should we do? Kwang Hong Nia asked, bowing in deference. Lu kept his usual stern countenance. We've searched the whole manor and cannot find the third young master. Only the lake remains. I already sent men to check. The small boat tied in the reeds is gone. Perhaps the third young master, in some madness, rowed out alone. Ti Quan Min went ashen at that. The fog hovered over the lake, visibility was terrible, and who knew what demons lurked within? To enter the water now would be tantamount to suicide. More strangely, everyone standing there could feel a cold wind blowing off the lake, yet that wind did nothing to disperse the fog covering the water. The haze lay over the surface like a sheet of black ink. Merely staring at it gave the impression one might be swallowed. Master Lu, it's very dark. Perhaps we should wait until dawn, when visibility is better. Hua Tusi tried to buy time, but before he finished Lu cut him off harshly. No, but how can we search without boats? Shall we swim across? Ti Quan Min asked, panic-stricken. The water might contain not only the singing female demon but Kalong's corpse as well. Lu smiled. You needn't trouble yourselves, we've already prepared. He signaled to an attendant. The servant lifted a cymbal and struck a cloth-wrapped drum. In an instant, a shrill ringing echoed through the night. It was a signal. Immediately, low-toned horns sounded from the thick mist along the shore. Robust, shirtless men with hair in top knots slowly emerged, heavy ropes over their shoulders, their strides steady but powerful. The ropes stretched taut, trailing into the mist over the lake. Clearly, they were hauling something heavy. Moments later, everyone froze in astonishment as a large fire-borne vessel gradually took shape from within the fog. A big wooden boat in an old style, a square cabin atop it, and a black mast rising near the bow, large enough to hold all 6 of them. Not just one, but 3 wooden boats were pulled out from the mist in total. Guests, as I said before, coin must bring work. I ask the favor of 2 of you to take 1 boat across the lake to search for the third young master. If you succeed, our manor will reward you handsomely. Steward Lu bowed politely toward Duong Chu and the others. The manor servants echoed the plea with weary looks. Only the papermaker stood aside with a wry, inscrutable smile. A chill ran up Duong Chu's spine. This scene felt less like a rescue and more like leading them to their doom.